Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. DeCarlo is excused. Mr. Hoffman?
Here.
Mr. Condit?
Here.
Mr. Molina,
Here.
Mr. Zobston?
Here.
And Mr. Coulter?
Approval of meeting minutes for May 12th, 2015.
Move to approve.
Second. Roll call on approval of minutes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Zobston?
Yes.
Amendments to the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Miller, there'll be 3 additional amendments to the agenda. We have Resolution 35, 2015, a resolution accepting the resignation of Steele Farkas from the Village of Reminderville Fire Department effective May 27, 2015. We'll also need to add resolution.
No, we do want a roll call on adding resolution 35, 2015.
I need a second.
Oh, second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call on adding resolution 35.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Zobston?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Also like to add resolution 36, 2015, a resolution to accept the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the final subdivision plat and plan for Liberty Ledges subdivision phase 5.
We have a second. Roll call on adding resolution 36.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Zobston?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
I'd also like to make a motion to add resolution number 37, 2015, a resolution requesting authorizing the Summit County Board of Elections to place upon the Village of Reminderville ballot the general election of November 3rd, 2015, a certain proposed amendment to section 10.03 of the Charter of the Village of Reminderville regarding classified and unclassified service with the Village of Reminderville and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Roll call on adding resolution 37,
Mr. Zobston?
2015.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina?
Yes. Okay, at this time, we're going to break from tradition. We're going to go right to the Charter Review Commission presentation. Why don't y'all stand and introduce yourselves for those of us that don't know you.
Rod Wiggins, Chairman.
I'm Vicky Jones Morini, Commission.
I'm Sarah Roxanne Boswell, and I'm a member also.
It's all yours, Art.
Thank you. There are copies on the website you can refer back to. Does everyone have a copy that wants one before we start? Okay. As you will note in your handout, this is a requirement of the charter itself, that every 5 years it be reviewed by a 5-person commission of electors from the village. The duty, well, none of the electors can hold another position during the time they are serving on the commission, so that their role for the village is focused just on the commission review. There is no compensation for that service. The key element in the duties is to recommend such amendments that are conducive to the benefit of the village. To summarize that, it's not just because we don't like the way something is worded or think that something could be more elaborate. It really needs to be something that's going to benefit the village by making that change. And finally then, when we finish, we make our proposal to the council, and then the council may choose to bring it up for election. We held our first meeting on February 11th. Several subsequent meetings were also held, all of which were open to the public. All our minutes were recorded and were available on the website. We did entertain not only public discussion, but emails and notes that were sent in. Everything was discussed. The agendas and minutes, I think, are still maintained on the website, so if anybody wants to go back and look at any of those, they may. The commission was aptly supported by Stacy Task, clerk of the council. In addition, Mayor Alonso made himself available to answer any and all of our questions and explain various issues. He was present for a couple of the meetings, so that we could speak with him directly. We were privileged to have the council president, Mario Molina, Councilman Mark Condick, Councilman and Charter Commission member Tom DiCarlo, who was able to provide perspective on the charter itself. We went through article by article, and after reviewing each and every article, and all the recommendations that came in from department heads, any insight we received from members of the village who attended and spoke or mailed in electronically or snail mail, we considered all of that information and have determined to put a recommendation forward to the council for their consideration on the November ballot. Within the document you have, it shows the area of the charter, specifically civil service, Article 10. And in red, you will see the words that we are recommending be inserted. The rationale for this, I'm going to go through in writing and read it directly so I don't miss anything. But get to the bottom line first. There's two key elements why we are making this recommendation and consider it to be of benefit to the village. First, it will facilitate timely hiring when positions are needed either due to vacancy or exigent circumstances of a change of season, other reasons why staff needs to be augmented in the village, as well as save money through reduced testing requirements in the civil service system. So that's the bottom line. Those are the key 2 points that swung us in this direction. Now, overall, the Charter Article 10, Civil Service Section 10.04 states, the Civil Service Commission shall make, present, prescribe, and enforce rules for the appointment, promotion, transfer, layoff, reinstatement, suspension, and removal of employees in the classified service, and such other rules as may be necessary and proper for the enforcement of the merit system and for procedures of the commission. So that's the component that allows the structure. The Civil Service Commission shall determine the practicality of competitive exams for any non-elected office or job classification in the service of the municipality. The commission shall keep record of its proceedings, which shall be open to public inspection. So finally, the proposed amendment to Charter Article 10, Civil Service Section 10.03, assigns positions into two classes: full-time, part-time, temporary, and seasonal, based on the recommendation of the Civil Service Commission, which is attached to the document. I'm not going to read all of the attachments. That'll take us much too long. The recommendation is supported by the Fire Chief, Tom Plunkett, Police Chief, Jeff Buck, and the Service Director, Sam Scafidi. There are attachments to that effect as well. An amendment adding part-time, temporary, and seasonal employees to the unclassified list would serve a positive fiscal impact on department budgets, as well as allow the department heads to hire quality applicants in a timely manner. Civil service testing would no longer be required for part-time, temporary, or seasonal positions in the fire department, police department, or service department. Over $6,000 would be saved in testing costs annually. Besides the cost effectiveness of this amendment, it is vital to the hiring process as well. It would allow the departments to handle roster openings in a timely manner so as not to disrupt their commitment to residents. The current procedure is time-consuming and allows top test scorers to move on in the hiring process even if they have no experience. Finding qualified, experienced applicants is what is important for Reminderville. Bigger cities with bigger budgets can take the risk and time to train the less experienced top test scorers fresh out of the academy. This proposed amendment would benefit all departments in continuing to serve the village of Reminderville in a manner to which it has become accustomed. Surrounding municipalities that have assigned part-time, temporary, and seasonal employees to unclassified service include Aurora, Chagrin Falls, Fairfield, Mayfield, and Medina. There's clear precedent for what we are recommending. Civil service testing and procedures would continue to be required for full-time employees and for the use of hiring for promotional openings. So the Charter Review Commission voted on presenting this proposal to council, and a 5 positive, 0 negative. The Charter Review Commission recommends referring to the voters the adoption of the proposed amendment. So in closing, the members of the commission would give thanks to the mayor for appointing them and for giving them, all of us, the opportunity to serve this community. And we have affixed our signatures in evidence to the recommendation. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Rod. First off, I'd like to thank all 5 members,
Yeah.
Rod, Sarah, Michael, Joe, and Vicki. It was your introduction to the village, and hope you'll continue wanting to serve on committees down the road. We do appreciate all you put into this. I would ask council to take your time, read this over. It's on hard copy, to make it a little bit easier. Ed and Tom are not here. I want them to be able to review it, and then we come up with our first meeting in June. We need to look at the timeline for getting this approved and down to the Board of Elections and plenty of time to get it on the ballot. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go into committee reports. Mayor will not be here tonight. I do not have a report from him because he's been gone 2 weeks, but I'm sure when he comes back, he'll have all kind of info for us on China. On the lighter side, I don't know if everybody noticed all the brand new hanging baskets on Glenwood. We have completed phase 2 of our basket lining project. We went from basically here down to the roundabout. Next year we'll finish it out, going from the police station down to the Aurora line. Mr. Carpenter.
Just going along with what you said before, it's my recommendation that we pass 37/2015 by emergency at the next meeting so that we can get the language down there. Sometimes the Board of Elections doesn't like the language so much, and they'll make suggestions to change it. So this will give this task plenty of time to get it down there. And if there has to be a little tweak to the language that we've used in there, we can do that. Secondly, I met with Mr. Esser with the Pride Mark people with regard to their street dedication. They had signatures of 20 out of 22 people. The petition they used lacked a little bit of formality in that it didn't say what they were signing whatsoever. So we've asked to talk to their attorney, who is Jay Cusimano, that represents that homeowners association. Jay hasn't called me yet, so, but it's moving ahead, full speed ahead.
How many of those people showed up?
Boy, they had a big crowd here, about 12, Gary?
12, 13.
12 or 13 people, and they were all standing right here. It was a crowd.
So we had 20 of the 22.
Signed. And the 2 that did not sign it, from what I understand, were homes or properties that were in foreclosure. So there was obviously no one here from the
That was
financial
the-
institution. Yeah.
And we're okay timeline-wise to,
And the timeline's very short, obviously, because the start date 2 weeks ago was 1 month. But yeah, I think we're going to be able to get it
okay,
finished up.
thank you.
Yep.
Engineering, Barry?
Okay, kind of short this week. We are currently working on the partial design for the Nautilus Trail West project. Once we have that project about 85–90% designed, we'll be applying for the OPWC grant. This would be a project that we'd be looking at for next summer. It would be very similar to what we did on Nautilus Trail East, obviously. So we're working on that right now. We are still working on the design for the Pond Brook restoration. That's still looking like a fourth quarter project for the village. Construction status, Regatta, we did have a situation, I believe it was last week, with a gas line was hit. As we remember from Nautilus Trail, there's some issues with the gas lines down in that area. So we did have one that was hit last week. This week, I've had some complaints about some mailboxes that were knocked over, and taking care of that as well. Harrington, Phase 7, the roadway is installed. The plat is in the process of being recorded. We're looking at probably mid to late June that they'll start pulling permits on Harrington Phase 7. Senior apartments, they're moving still kind of slow and steady, but you're definitely seeing more work being done. They're calling in their underground inspections at this point. So. And then the only other thing, the building and zoning department, we've been sending out letters for tall grass. We've sent out 13 so far. We've already cut 5 of those ones, so that's a very small number compared to last year. So I think increasing the fees that we are charging for cutting grass has prompted the residents to start cutting grass. So that was all I had.
Thanks, Steve. You know, the service department, last meeting, Mr. Williams had requested someone look at the drainage ditch that runs from California over to the backyards in Florida. That has not been addressed yet. I talked to Mr. Scafidi this afternoon, and he said he's going to get down there soon and look at it, so I'm hoping Thursday because he's not here tomorrow. But a little disappointed, but it is what it is. Rec Center?
I understand there's a conference call that will be tomorrow at 11 o'clock with Piper Jaffrey, and I will be attending that. I understand also that we did get a report from Standard & Poor's today. It came in, is that right? I don't know if you could, I don't know exactly what it said, so maybe you could discuss that.
It actually, I have not received anything in writing from Standard & Poor's. It came via Piper Jaffrey, who is our finance consultant. And basically, the first analyst that took our rating to committee and came back with an initial score for us wasn't quite clear on a conduit agreement, which is where the DFA is involved. And so a second committee was brought in and made some recommendations that the language of some of the documents has changed. According to Piper Jaffrey and our bond counsel, who writes the documents, it's not going to be an issue. It's just a matter of timing to get it completed. The DFA has already agreed to the changes in the documents, and I'm sure we'll have Mr. Carpenter take a quick look at those as well to make sure that the village is also okay along with the bond counsel reviewing them. And it just pushes it back a little bit, but we still anticipate the bond rating being the same number.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Deborah, do you have anything?
I have nothing.
Thank you. Chief Buck?
Just a little bit on Liberty Road. Kavanaugh's down there working. They worked through the weekend. We had a couple issues on Memorial Day. Mike Lewis is running the project. Everything's going as scheduled. I was down there and walked the project just a little bit ago, and they're moving along. We had some calls on Saturday when they closed the road down, but all in all, everything went pretty well.
The closure went real quick with getting across the road. Were you able to solve the problem with the steel plates separating?
Yep.
Yeah.
Service took care of that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Chief Plunkett?
Just about our promotional ceremony. Hopefully we'll get that done tonight, at the regular council meeting.
Correct.
That individual is replacing, one of our lieutenants that resigned. But that still leaves us, we had one firefighter who, had to resign and could no longer be a firefighter due to a medical condition he developed. We had two firefighters out for injuries they suffered, one had a house fire and another one who was working on a motor vehicle accident and was injured. So we're down 4 individuals. And I had a meeting with the mayor this morning, in our ongoing discussion about the civil service system here in the village and what we can do in the meantime. There's no, obviously you're aware there's no civil service commission anymore. So we don't know where we're gonna go yet. I haven't had a chance to talk to the law director about it directly. I had a conversation with Chief Buck. I'm trying to figure out what I can do, what my options are.
There's a provision in there for emergencies. You know, I'd probably consider this an emergency if you're down so low that it's unsafe for your guys, you know, the number of shifts that they're doing or something. Yeah, there's a provision in there for emergencies.
Because you're having trouble filling shifts now,
You're
right?
right. I mean, that's a lot of it. On a 30-man department, to lose 4 individuals.
Yeah.
That's
What do they average? How many shifts does each man average?
About 9 or 10,
So that's 36 shifts.
36 shifts. Some guys are picking up the slack. A lot of them picked up some of the slack for this coming weekend by working double shifts. But
And it's summertime, which cuts into people working the extra shifts too.
so if you don't mind, Mr. Carpenter, maybe you and I can meet for 5 minutes, make sure we're going down the right path, and then we'll take it from there.
That's it. I do want to mention Nick retiring. You're losing an awesome guy.
Sure.
We know he retired from Bedford earlier this year, and now he's leaving us, and we're losing an excellent frontline guy.
Almost 12 years, I believe, he was here.
Yeah.
He, his position that he had as a lieutenant here, he had a lot of responsibility. He did a great job at it. Lieutenant Jones, it's funny tonight, he's gonna have to pick up that slack. Yeah, he's gonna miss him, you know, he's an experienced guy.
It was
Well,
great
retired,
to have a
moving
man
on.
like that working for us. Thank you, Tom. Architectural Board of Review.
Architectural Board Review, because of the Memorial Day holiday, we'll be meeting tomorrow night, at 7 o'clock up here at Village Hall. It sounds like it'll be a lot of decks and fences to be approved.
Thank you, Mark. Planning and zoning met 2 weeks ago. There's legislation for that approval, which will be going to first reading tonight. Board of Zoning Appeals.
A report.
Thank you, Joe. Finance met this evening. We have recommended payments of $233,321.64. And when you back out JED payments, that left the village payments of $33,006.17. Cable, no report. Communication.
Communications will be meeting Monday, June 1st at 7 o'clock up here at Village Hall.
Long-term community development, I did not get a report from them to give tonight. Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec met last Wednesday. Things are falling into place for the family fun day. And the Chiefs, we're hoping to do pretty much what we did last year. I'll talk to you as we get closer to the date.
And you're working with Mr. Scafidi and Chris?
I haven't talked to Mr. Scafidi yet. Last year, he pulled out the bucket truck and I think 2 trucks just parked outside the door.
Okay.
Just a note, we did a blanket PO for the vendors for that.
Yes.
And if there are any new vendors,
Need W-9s.
correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Records?
No.
Seniors?
Seniors have breakfast tomorrow at the Dolphin. Got it right.
On Broadway.
In Northfield?
Broadway.
Oakwood.
Oakwood.
Oakwood. I almost got it right.
The small.
Next launch will be Tuesday, June 9th at the Akira Hibachi in Solon.
Thank you.
We have people going all over the place for that.
They'll find it eventually.
They all know where it is.
Jen, Walt, do you have any?
Yeah, June 2nd is our meeting, that's next Tuesday, and then we'll be at the Township Government Center, 7 o'clock. Is when that meeting is.
Thanks, Walt.
Mr. Malina?
I'm sorry, could I add to that report as well?
Sure.
I know that council wasn't aware, but Rob Kegler made a request for the first joint agreement payment, so that you know that that is coming, the Merck acquisitions, held to their deal with the gen for 4 years. So that money that we've been holding on to, for that agreement, the first payment will be made out to that company. It's $58,000.
That's the letter and the
Yes.
PO I
and the
signed
PO,
this
correct.
afternoon.
I did also request, and I called Rob also, the fact that we have not seen a financial report from the JET for at least 3 months, which we're supposed to be getting on a monthly basis, and I expressed my concern about that.
And what did he say?
Not much, I mean, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, because I'm not sure we're gonna see it, but we're gonna keep asking for it.
Everybody hunker down, we're all staying here.
Okay, postpone legislation, I have not heard back from Don Johnson on the information they need for Kimball. We wouldn't have been voting on it tonight anyway, so it will remain postponed. We have ordinance 16, 2015, an ordinance to transfer $14,400 from the general fund 1,000 to the street dedication fund 3301, declaring an emergency. Second reading, that can still,
If you can pass that.
yeah, we can. Resolution 31, 2015, a resolution accepting the resignation of Nick Shurko from the Village of Reminderville Fire Department effective June 1st, 2015, second reading. Resolution 35, 2015, a resolution accepting the resignation of Steele Farkas from the Village of Reminderville Fire Department effective May 27th, 2015. Resolution 36, 2015, a resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the final subdivision plat and plan for the Liberty Ledges subdivision Phase 5. Resolution 37, 2015, a resolution requesting and authorizing the Summit County Board of Elections to place upon the Village of Reminderville ballot at the general election on November 3rd, 2015, a certain proposed amendment to section 10.03 of the charter of the Village of Reminderville regarding classified and unclassified service with the Village of Reminderville and declaring an emergency. Old business. New old business. New business. I have one item under new business. Tom, you may be aware of this. It's the National Take Back Initiative where people can turn in old prescription drugs. There's special boxes designed to hold this. Can you look into this and look at the feasibility of us doing something with this? And I think, I mean, they have freestanding boxes you can put on a concrete pad, but, you know, if there's something we can maybe get in the lobby, because that door is unlocked all the time. Just look into it if you could let me know, please. Any other new business? Oh, one other thing. Prescription drugs abuse leads to illegal drug abuse, and this is a good thing to offer our residents and even people in the surrounding communities, just to get rid of it legally and without dumping it down the toilet or in your backyard. Any other new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Roll call on adjournment?
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Solstead?
Yes.
Go right into it.
Yes.
Do it.
Is Benny here?
No, see, I don't think so. He's on, his shift engine company, his engine company shipped this today, and he was getting somebody to cover for him so he could raise up.
Well,
I told him to be
Yeah.
by 8.
what we can do, Tom, is we'll go through the meeting and then when he gets it.
Absolutely, I'll go double
All
check.
right. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call?
Mr. Hopkins.
Here.
Mr. Condit. Mr. Molina.
Here.
Mr. Sosted.
Here.
Approval of meeting minutes for May 12, 2015.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call on approval of minutes.
Mr. Condit.
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Sosted.
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins.
Yes.
Acceptance of financial reports.
Move to accept. Second.
Roll call on acceptance of reports.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Sosted.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Mr. Condit.
Yes.
Amendments to the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Molina, there'd be three amendments to the agenda. I'd like to add Resolution 35, 2015, a resolution accepting the resignation of Steele Farkas from the Village of Reminderville Fire Department effective May 27, 2015.
You need a second?
Second. Sorry.
Roll call on adding resolution 35.
Mr. Sosted.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Mr. Condit.
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
I'd also like to make a motion to add resolution number 36, 2015, a resolution to accept the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the final subdivision plat and plan for the Liberty Ledges subdivision phase 5.
Second.
Roll call on adding resolution 36.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Mr. Condit.
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Sosted.
Yes. And finally, I'd like to make a motion to add the resolution number 37, 2015, a resolution requesting and authorizing the Summit County Board of Elections to place upon the Village of Reminderville ballot in the general elections of November 3rd, 2015, a certain proposed amendment to section 10.03 of the Charter of the Village of Reminderville regarding classified and unclassified service with the Village of Reminderville and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Roll call on adding resolution 37.
Mr. Condit.
Yes.
Mr. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Sosted.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Comments from the public, 30 minutes maximum time, 5 minutes per person. Please state your name and address. Comments from the public? Yes.
I think this is real. My name is Ashley Keating. This is my husband, Dan Keating. We live in Harrington Place, and we've come here tonight to propose some additional stop signs in our neighborhood. We live on Firethorn Drive, and we're proposing that Harrington Drive and Firethorn Drive become a three-way stop.
What is your address?
3653 Firethorn Drive. The reason that we're bringing this to council is it's a safety concern for our neighborhood. We have numerous children that are crossing the street there. There is no sidewalk that connects Harrington and Firethorn Drive. So the children have no way, to cross the street. There's no sidewalk, there's no crosswalk. There are multiple bus stops that stop at that corner. I think every bus that comes to our neighborhood is stopping there. So we would really like to take this into consideration so that it just increases the safety in our community for all the children that we have in the area. Especially with the summer months coming up, they're out constantly riding their bikes, walking through the neighborhood. Even for pedestrians, walking their dogs, and just families out for, their evening walks.
Ashley, I do know that Tom DiCarlo, who lives in the house on the right,
Yes.
he has already spoken with the mayor about that, and I believe they've talked to engineering, so it is something more.
Okay, because yes, he is a very big supporter of our cause, and, stop sign would be going right in front of his house, so he
Well,
would-
and the other problem, because I've been over to Tom's quite a bit, just trying to get out of his driveway, because there's people fly down that street, knowing that there's no a stop sign that goes straight through. It is
Right.
dangerous.
And we're just afraid that a child's gonna end up getting hit by a car, so we're just really pushing that, it is a safety concern for our community. So we'd appreciate you guys taking it into consideration.
Thank you.
We do have a petition also signed by neighbors in our community. We sampled a few houses, we had 47 yeses and 5 nos, so 90% of the homes that we went to were in favor of the stop sign.
Okay.
So this first one, we have it like pictured, that's what, in the corner of Tom's yard?
Tom's house is next
Yeah.
to you.
Middle stop sign is at the edge of Tom's yard.
But the second one,
Or the three of them, the middle one.
The stop sign, one would go between Tom's yard and
This is
the middle. Show us.
the one facing this.
yeah. Then what's the purpose of the second one?
Don't worry about the rendering. It's a
Gotcha.
three-way stop. Whose responsibility though is it to put in, like, why isn't there a sidewalk? Like, is that,
When Harrington was built, the way the sidewalks work, it may run down one side of the street because the opposite side is common property. As long as there's a continuous flow of sidewalks, whether or not they have to cross the street or not. That's all that was required by Harrington. And I found that out probably within the last 6 months, because I was questioning why the common properties, even though we were finished in phases 1 through 5, there were no sidewalks, and I kept asking Mr. Esser about it, and then he finally explained to me that they don't have to have it on both sides of the street as long as it's continuous.
But they have to get across the street to get sidewalks, so that would be the argument.
Well, but if there's a driveway you can cross, he told me that there's paved service to cross from one side of the street to the other. I don't agree with it, I'm
Don't
telling
kill
you
the
what I was
messenger.
told.
I understand. Okay.
but we have every right to put it in, we as a council.
You'll be able to put them in.
Yes.
Okay, Barb Tausch, 10079 Regatta Trail. I'd like an explanation for the details of the contract with Kimball.
Sure, I have to find it. What it is, our rates are not going up. If we approve this contract effective January 1st, 2016, what they will be doing will be supplying us with each of those bins that are in the back of the room. At no charge. Right now, if you want their bins, you have to pay a monthly fee. It's $250, I thought it was $240. With the contract, everyone will get those bins. Now, they will be making exceptions for hardships, not knowing what those hardships are until, if this legislation passes, until we start to institute this program. If you find that large trash bin is too much for you because you live alone or you and your spouse don't generate enough trash to fill that in a month, the size of the green bin will be available in the trash bin. What else?
These are the only bins they will pick up then?
No, they'll still take bags. I mean, if you have extra stuff, what we're trying to do as a village, and if you go down Glenwood on trash day, because they switched over to all bins with waste management. They tested it in one of the wards and found it worked. First thing it's going to do is we're not going to have recyclable materials flying all over the village. It seems like Fridays are always the windiest day of the week, except this week it'll probably be Saturday because trash is delayed 1 week. But those yellow bins and green open top bins we have, it's just flying all over. Having these sealed top bins, Kimball has told us that for the most part they're animal resistant, not 100%, but it will keep most of the animals out. They're very easy to wheel. The reason I had them brought in was so residents can come in and roll them around. You can come in anytime during the day from 8 to 4 and see how easily they will roll. And it's just gonna make for a cleaner look in the village on trash day.
And there will be no fee for those,
No fee whatsoever.
even in the subsequent years?
We are looking to sign 7-year contract.
Because we, as just two seniors and any of the other seniors, we wouldn't generate that much trash.
No, and that's why Kimball will offer the trash bin in the smaller
But
size.
they would pick up, we could do ours in a Hyman's or Giant Eagle bag all week long.
The reason they're willing to pay for the bins, where they save money is on workers' comp. Their rates go down, their injuries go way down, because now their guys are not lifting these. They sit in the cab of the truck, arms come out, grab that can, dump it, and put it right back where you had it.
Okay, what are the orange bags we heard about?
Those are available if you don't want to participate in this program, but you will have to buy the bags.
And how big are they, and how much are they, and how many in a pack?
250, I think.
$2.50 a pack. Do you know how many are in it?
So there's 250 apiece.
But if there's no fee for these bins, it would not behoove us to buy bags extra.
Correct. I mean, as long as, bins are free, I don't know why anyone would want to.
Okay. And if there's any for that, they're not gonna charge us, like, through this first year contract, they're not gonna all of a sudden say the bins are X
You're
amount.
welcome to take a look at this. I would ask that you.
No, I will.
No, because this has the pricing, the increases. In 2017, it'll go up 1%, 2018, 2019, it'll go up 2%, in 2020, it'll go up
But
3%.
the bins are free.
The bins are free.
All right.
Just to be sure, like this past garbage day, we had a ton of trash, and I had 4 extra bags of lawn refuse.
They're gonna still take it.
They'll take my Sam's Club bags home.
And they're still gonna take, if you have small lumber or branches tied up in 4-foot lengths, nothing's gonna change on what they pick up or how they pick it up. What we're trying to do is get all the trash in sealed containers. It's gonna maintain our price. We're not gonna have the large increases like we've had in the past through contracts. We're holding at a max end of 3% over 4 years. We're going 1, 2, 2, 3. It's saving them a ton of money. Workers' comp is the killer. You figure those guys, some of those cans, I don't know if you've ever watched them lift those things up into those dump bins. People put everything in it. This is gonna limit it. They sit in the cab of the truck and they dump it.
I didn't hear Mark's question. What about loose leaves, other than when they come by in the fall to suck them up?
They'll still
Loose leaves, you can
take
just dump them in there.
They're still gonna take the appliances, the furniture, the big stuff you put out there. I would say 80 to 90% of the time, they don't even charge the residents on the bulk item pickups. They just do it, even though there's a listing on what they charge for like a refrigerator or a stove or
They
a
do
hot water.
charge for refrigerators though, right?
But a lot of times on smaller pieces of furniture and appliances, they do not charge.
Okay,
So they've been very fair with our residents.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Willie?
Now Williams, 10589 Florida Street. If they opt to use the bins or opt to use the bags and pay for the bags, are they still going to get a bill for the monthly fee? Or is the bag their fee for hauling their garbage? In other words, they're being charged twice if they have to pay for the bags.
Well, in essence, it doesn't make sense to get the bags.
Pardon?
It doesn't make any sense to get bags.
Unless, of course, you're only paying the $2.50 or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean
It
for the
makes
bags.
sense.
That's a good question.
I don't know, I'll have to find out now.
Because I don't know.
I don't know.
I know the bags have been available, and you would still have recyclables, I would assume.
We can get the bags at
But one of the
250 in our
concerns of the
organization.
senior was, why should I have to pay for a bags then if I want to use the bag?
Yeah, I'll find out and let you know, I'll let everyone know that they're charged. Any other comments from the public? We're going to legislation, postpone legislation remains postponed. Ordinance 16, 2015, an ordinance to transfer $14,400 from the general fund 1,000 to the street dedication fund 3301, declaring an emergency. Second reading. Resolution 31, 2015, a resolution accepting the resignation of Nick Shurko from the Village of Reminderville Fire Department effective June 1st, 2015, second reading. Resolution 35, 2015, a resolution accepting the resignation of Steele Farkas from the Village of Reminderville Fire Department effective May 27th, 2015. Resolution 36, 2015, a resolution to accept the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the final subdivision plat and plan for Liberty Ledges subdivision phase 5. Mark, can you pass me downstairs? Resolution 37, 2015, a resolution requesting and authorizing the Summit County Board of Elections to place upon the Village of Reminderville ballot at the general election of November 3rd, 2015, a certain proposed amendment to section 10.03 of the charter of the Village of Reminderville regarding classified and unclassified service with the Village of Reminderville and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Maloney?
Yes,
Some discussion on that?
sure.
If possible. When is the date that language has to be into the,
It's early August, first, second, or third of August, probably. The election's November 3rd. Usually it's 90 days.
And we want to get it done plenty of time, because June, July, August, we're at one meeting a month, not that we can't have a special council meeting